Alright, and I'm back with John to do some more testing this week. I've loaded up a control deck that I was showing him, so hopefully we can test it out and see how it's going.
Sounds good. And I'm running a kind of a modified version of like a band turbo fog list with a splash of red and otherwise pretty much essentially like maybe a bigger mana band control list essentially. So it's going to be a little more pedestrian, but it's going to be fun. And I also, for the record, I will not be talking as much this time, so I can actually try to not make as many stupid mistakes. So have fun, dude.
Yeah, likewise. Unfortunately, it would help if my lands decided to match any of the spells that I had. This will have to do. Actually, this is about as good as I could expect it to be. Which is sad.
Sounds
Thankfully,
ominous.
your deck is super slow, also.
That sounds quite ominous.
This is the Gideon Control deck that you and I were talking about.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, Gideon's a card, and I'm going to talk here because this is the stage of the game where I don't have to worry as much about making as many decisions, and it's a little bit easier. Ha ha ha.
Quick pick a land.
Sorry.
I was joking. I said quick pick a land. Go ahead.
It's Gideon is a card I'm really interested to spell T open. Gideon's a card that I'm really interested in seeing how it develops because it's a little bit less exciting than some of the other cards out there, but it's very interesting to see. Like it's a really cool design. It's really neat in general. I'm just really curious to see how he matures. Like I mean, he gets better after the format evolves, and this Innistrad block rotates. Will have more. He'll be more better.
Wait, did I just F6 my turn?
I was wondering if you didn't have a third land.
Oops. No, I did. I'm so dumb.
Yeah, this is I have sixed.
A really bad start after a mulligan. Oh well.
Yep, but it's not like I can really punish you too much. Like if you're holding counters or something, it's a little bit. I don't really see any need to rush.
Just would have liked to get this off a turn early.
Ah, yeah, that's unfortunate. And I guess I'll also mention, because we're on recording too, I'll mention the red is a bit of a test experiment. It's basically for Niv Mizzet, and then also Niv Mizzet Draco Genius, and also the Chandra the Firebrand is kind of an extra planeswalker for more stuff to do. Plus copying, like if you use -2 Chandra and then do things like cast Urban Evolution. I mean, Temporal Mastery's not in the deck anymore, so obviously you can't do that, but that's it's not really a big deal.
Right, and now you've got Revelation, which
is just it was a huge addition. I was very happy about that. It was just an excellent card.
No.
No.
Nope.
No, sir. No. Sad face. Yep. Sad face. But we'll see how we're going to see how the Niv goes. Like it's a very powerful card. Niv is a fantastic card. I'm totally in love with him, but he's not really. He requires a heavy red commitment in addition to the blue, and I'm not sure whether splashing him is going to really be that effective. But alas, you know, I'm trying it because I really, I think he's just so powerful that I want to try to fit him in. And the man is like not even without like a splash color, it's not too bad. Like you can still get a few activations off per turn.
God, I'm so far behind on lands and everything.
Yeah, unfortunately. Though I didn't even have any. Didn't play any lands that turn, and then didn't draw any lands from it either. So that was pretty unfortunate. All right.
That's fine, I guess.
You guess.
We were discussing her nicknames. We've heard her nicknamed Tomato and Moon Socks.
Yeah, the moon socks. Oh my goodness. I just found out about you told something that a little bit earlier before the recording, and that was pretty epic, hilarious. I don't know. There's very little to say beyond the fact that that is completely and utterly awesome beyond belief.
It would help if you could see a little bit better through.
Sorry.
It would help if you could see a bit better through the text box, but.
Yeah, this I was actually just thinking that myself, looking through I was actually just zooming in on the card, but yeah, it's a little unfortunate. You have to look like by the art, it's the illustration, Eric Deschamps' illustration. And
all right, there is no way for me to claw my way back, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one here.
All right, thank you for the game. Yeah, it's probably
likewise.
a good idea too when you're that far, and also my hand is completely stacked also. So going into sideboarding, I don't know how you're going to do things, but I figure like with a blue-black plan, like not really, assuming I don't really know what's going on, I'm going to probably board in a suite of counter spells, dispels, negates, like 2 dispel, 2 negate, just like, again, like testing, kind of working with the numbers and getting a feel for things. I do have 1 counterflux on the board. I'm bringing that in just because I figure it's just a nice to have, like, I just love the card itself, and it's just really fun to just say no, and you can't, and I have the last word also.
Right.
And Chandra probably I'm probably bringing Chandra's for a planes for, again, if it's a more controlling matchup, I figure I'll have the Planeswalker or Planeswalker for fun. Cards that are going to be boarded out, I'm going to cut some number of verdicts, Supreme Verdict, and definitely the Fogs go. So
I'm doing the same.
Yep. So
basically
probably be cutting those. The Psychic Spiral is going to come in. Psychic Spiral is going to come in for like each Drown Yard, kind of standard Drown Yard antics, and maybe an extra Tomato, which I'm just experimenting with for the numbers. And then more Detention Spheres. I have 2 Detention Spheres on the board as another test, like just to see, like, because I know it's soft to abrupt decay, but I wanted to see like whether I needed more removal like that, permanent removal. The other thing is also like another Sylvan Primordial I have on the board. I could try to bring in that, but I've already got so much stuff coming in that I'm going to stick with only 1 Primordial, and then I still have 2 cards I have to cut. So I'm going to keep Niv in because I want to try to just mess with him some more. And I have to cut 2 cards.
Actually,
Gonna need to cut the Verdict, last Verdict, and I have a Detention Sphere still on the board, and then I will probably, I don't know if I really need the Primordial, because again, if there's Liliana, I do want to have an answer to that, but I need to just cut the Garruk. No, Garruk Relentless, that is.
Garruk seems so good in control matchups that.
That's why I'm not really.
Yeah, I would keep that in at all costs.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut a dispel because because I think it's a question between like maybe like cutting like Niv for like a dispel, but I'm gonna try cutting one of the dispels just to see how this plays, and then we'll go from there.
All right, this is playable.
And
this is a nice change.
Mine is too. So.
If I'm going to be missing a color, at least I'm missing the color that I need least.
Aha.
Starting with a Guild Gate is always sad,
nice.
Though. It's like, oh, my deck is cheaper than yours. But
yeah, it's a nice greeting. Hey, look at my budgetness.
I'm not actually missing that much, but I really need to be able to hit white, so I wanted to make sure.
And they fill out as great, and they're great filler cards too. Like they're great filler cards for the. That's a card I really like, Merciless Eviction. But it's nice to have that for just being able to fill out your mana if you don't need more than just like Shocklands and then like M10 or Innistrad block duels. Like it's nice. It's a nice little filler to help close the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally for it. I was like, it's no different than say like back in Zendikar when the refuges were again, like an extra lands to help ensure color consistency, and they gained life. So like, why not?
Augur, I hardly know her.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, groan. Groan. Ouch.
Haha! Have at you!
How about you, good
I'm ahead on
sir?
the board.
Yes,
Uh,
super much.
See, I should alter a card, one of these cards, so that he's holding the weapon below, so it's Augur of Belows.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's also pretty groan-worthy.
Yeah.
Pretty groan-worthy. And I, of course, now, then there's also the obvious question of, like, do I cut all of the verdicts also? Because if you have, like, Restoration Angel shenanigans or anything, that could be a little bit of a problem. Like, I guess I'd have to rely on, like, Revelation to keep my life total high and not... but again, I guess what I'm so used to is that I'm normally thinking of like, say, like, Legacy, where you're playing combo and you have to be careful of, like, hate bears like Gagtig, and you need to have a, like, bounce spell or some way to get rid of them. And it's not quite the same in Standard, so it's kind of have to keep remember that no, it's not, it's not nothing like that really will be shutting you off, but you still have to keep it in mind.
I'm kind of trying to play Drago here just so I don't play into anything stupid, but I figure since I've got instance in hand, it's probably safe.
Yeah, no, that's going to go through. Yeah, and you also have the Dispel in hand too, which is definitely restrains my ability to, I mean, I Revelations, it's going to definitely make me want to think about how I want to use the Revelations.
Yeah, definitely just trying to keep that Dispel up as much as I can.
Yep. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm only in Revelation for 1 right now, which is not very exciting. So I'm probably gonna. And I also like. I'm not on a huge clock right now with these 2 silly augurs destroying me. Interesting, lingering souls. All right.
I want to try and find the line of where my opponent is willing to rat and ride that line the best I can.
You can hold the lingering souls also to wait and try to bait the. You don't have the black mana yet, but you do have the. You can bait the wrath.
Yep,
so
that's the plan. I like that every card in my graveyard currently has flashback. So
yes, makes it very resilient. It's quite good.
All right, what do we got here?
Lots and lots of lands.
That's not an instant.
Need some Demure Charms for that.
I wondered about it.
Need your Demure Charms.
Gonna remove auto yields in case you cast something that I can counter.
Yeah.
I was like, I F6, but it's like, yeah, he may play a land. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good. You have to discard. That's not the worst.
Discard here. Let's discard that. All right. And that's the other thing I will say of also to some of this a side note, because while we're on camera, like the one thing I do like about our Revolution, like a lot, it seems like it's really, I've been really happy with it, just as even as a simple draw 3 and just make additional land drops, because in a sort of big mana control deck, even if you're not doing like big things like say like woo brews or things along those lines, oh yeah, look at there's the man himself. It's nice to have the ability to just to make extra additional land drops, and it feels really, really good too. It feels quite nice. Unfortunately, though, I'm on a clock.
Yeah.
Gideon's a card.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. That's good.
See, there are several different cards that I want to alter just to add puns. But I think the best one is I really want to just white out the S on slaughter games so that my opponent has to play around laughter games.
That would be pretty awesome. The joy of let me try mana correct. The joy of having of altering paper cards, being able to make funny things, cross out certain parts of the names and things like that.
Come on, no land.
Oh no, I got plenty of lands. The question is, can I survive long enough?
No, that's fine. You don't have a plains, which is what I was concerned about. I do not want you to have a Zorius Charm.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's no Azorius Charm in the deck right now. It feels it's a little bit too aggressive. Now, mind you, that's my initial feeling, but it's a ooh, that's a huge prevention shield to instantly enlarge that. It's a little bit. It's not as aggressive necessarily, but I was when you have fog in the deck, I was trying to figure out like, do I want to add charm now that I'm going like banned colors, and I probably will add them in. But the question is like, if I then I'm running out of space. Like if I don't include fog, do I, cut them for these charms? Like what do I do about that? And that's kind of the question I'm not sure about yet.
Sure. Yeah, I don't normally like playing Drago like this, but I certainly it works well with my plan. Is you have to do things with to Gideon on my turn, so
Yes,
I want to do everything I can to not cast Dispel.
pretty much.
That said, you can't just swing his Revelation to save you life because, again, like if you tap out, then you're dead. So
Yeah, I think I'm actually just basically dead too. I don't really have any. I just don't have any wrath in any way to deal with that. I just making sure that I'm not missing any possible lines that would save me.
that's kind of what I like. This deck is it as much as possible tries to focus. Just a second.
Sure.
It tries to synergize around sorcery, like playing around sorcery speed removal, so that I never have to fear wraths and I never have to fear any of that sort of thing. That said, you're about to play a wrath to keep from dying. Oh no, you don't have enough white.
Yeah, no,
You're digging,
okay, I'm
but
just gonna concede here. I just was trying to see if I could have answers. I didn't think I had any answers to deal with that because I cut all the stuff, so it kind of messes me up. So then for game three, like I guess forgetting that I have if the opponent is playing creatures, I guess I need to keep some kind of a removal in there. So I guess I need at least like some kind of effect, like either a one verdict or a fog is definitely not what I want to be doing. So probably just a verdict then. Um, doesn't help with Gideon, but at least that's what Detention Sphere is for. And the 3D spheres are already, or no, I'm putting the 3D spheres in, I think, for now.
I think I'm actually, just because I don't have to worry about chumping and I don't actually expect to get there on damage like that, I'm going to swap a Lingering Souls for another Azorius Charm just to cycle.
Yeah, it seems fine. It's going to be probably I would assume you're on the mill plan also, which means that as long as you can play around spot, you can beat the spiral, kind of the whole spiral game. Then that would help. I was trying to think. I have to cut a couple cards. I'm bringing in more D spheres, and I have to think about what I'm going to cut for that. The main deck is pretty tight, so I do feel like I need the wrath, but then it's just a question of like, do I cut more counter spells? Do I try to? I don't really want to cut the planeswalkers. Chandra does help deal with tokens, and also the may just bring out like go to like to 1D sphere still, and then keep a oof.
One thing that I saw that was pretty interesting tech that you might want to consider for later is I saw Urgent Exorcism as a sideboard card, and I really like it both for two things. For one thing, enchantments are actually becoming really common right now. It seems like, and Oblivion Ring or D-Sphere are always good targets. But also, it's an easy way for white to kill Obsidat.
Now, what is the origin? I sort of remember the artwork, but what does the card do again?
It's white and 1, and it destroys target
Oh, is it spirit
or enchantment?
That's what now I started remembering. Like you gain 1 life or you gain 3 life?
No, it is just 1 white and 1
land.
for destroy, spirit, or enchantment.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the card, but I didn't really remember the effect on it. Yeah, that's definitely that's a card. Like, that's definitely something to keep in mind. I will have to try and think spirit enchantment. Like Obsidian is definitely annoying. It's definitely something to keep in mind for sure.
Nobody likes seeing him.
Yeah, no, he's not, and he's a real annoyance for the control decks. Just being able to have that kind of resilient answer or threat. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Like especially with the enchantments too, because I was actually starting to test with like Ray of Revelation for having like D-sphere answers and other kinds of business. So
Yep.
it's definitely something to watch videos of the Eviction again.
I like getting answers to all of your planeswalkers early.
That card is awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan. I really like it.
That's part of what pushed me over into Esper versus red, white, blue. Originally, I was thinking red, white, blue with Chandra in the main deck, but too many of my cards don't work with Chandra, like, you know, counterspells and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Chandra works much better with your deck than with mine.
Yeah, yeah. It's just copying things like Urban Evolution are just really nice value plays. Really is quite sweet.
I used to have a deck that played both Chandra and Slaughter Games, or at least had Slaughter Games in the sideboard. And doubling a Slaughter Games is hilarious.
Oh, yeah, talk about nuts. Talk about awesome. Yeah, I would definitely like that. Yeah, it's neat. The card is. I was just curious about the card. Like Chandra's, it's a neat card, and she's got. She just has a lot of potential. So I figured I'd just mess with a 1-up and see what she would do. It's not like I'm boarding her in, and I think I'm boarding her in from the sideboard as just to not have it main deck, because there are some cases where it's not like super exciting. But you know, what can you do?
Yeah, it's one of those like kind of a pet card for me. I know she's not quite as good as I want her to be, so I try to take everything. I try to you know, take all of my instincts with a grain of salt.
Sure, sure. And speak of the devil.
Hey.
Hey,
That's not the worst.
And there's a decision I'm gonna mention for later that I thought about at that point, but I won't. I'll talk about it after the game's over. It's turn 4. Yep.
Let's do this thing.
Let's do this. Like Buddhists. If you watch the homestarowner.com.
Not for a very long time.
Oh, shame on you. Yeah, it's the one where it's the strong bad email where a fan tells him that he'd be great doing like voiceovers for monster truck commercials, like the announcements for them. And he does, like, he thinks up his own what his own announcement, like his own commercial will look like. And Homestar, there's a line that Homestar has in there where he says, "Let's do this like Buddhists." And I can't do Homestar very well, but that's what he did.
Okay, so Chandra's just going to stay at 3. WUGR and Chandra can just dance forever. I'm fine with this. The best Merfolk Planeswalker.
I could have also just traded off Chandra and just copied a sorcery, which actually might have been better. I didn't even think that through, actually. That might have been a mistake, because I could have just -1 and then just cast a sorcery or something while you're tapped out. But that's, I mean, it's not much. It cannot be helped at this point. I have to just think, yeah, I'll
Yeah, you should probably Urban Evolution.
That's the question. I can Urban, or I have other stuff I can do too. My hand is completely stacked. So the question is, like, do I want to get? I think the decision here is, like, I could have -2, just thrown away Chandra and just gone for the double evolution. But then the question was, did I want to do that instead of like what I was planning to do originally, which was this.
If you don't impact the board, you're losing Chandra anyway.
Right. That's why I was just going to do this instead.
Okay.
And then just make a beast and hope that you don't have any kind of answer that would, like, say, kill that, then attack with Gideon, and not one of the planeswalkers goes down. But I mean, I guess I felt like, I think I'm still not certain about the evolution. Like, I think it probably would have been better just to evolution, like just go way up on cards and then try to just draw 6 cards and get 3 land drops. Like, that'd be a lot. I think that would be a safer line, but I just figured that maybe I can get both planeswalkers down or keep them around, that would be better. But at the same time, like, you can just verdict here if you still have like 1 after board, and then attack with Gideon, knock one of them out. Could also other pressures, other kinds of cards like Cyclonic Rift, you know, bouncing beast attack, or other lines.
Let's go ahead and get aggressive.
All right, I guess this is the part where I say, "Come at me, bro." I'm also noting too, for reference, that the eviction is only single black, which means that, let me try this correct. Yeah. So you only needed one black source to be able to cast it, not like double black or anything. So in case I just want to try to make cast more planeswalkers or commit more to the board, I want to be thinking about that. Like I'm probably not going to be doing anything anytime soon. Yeah, now I'm definitely going to just do this like snap now. Like not waiting around for them making that mistake again. And also because I don't want to commit more to the board in case there's like other like the eviction comes down. Yeah, and this is definitely why. This is my first time casting like the a copied spell with Chandra, but yep. Now it still uses less information to copy, right? Yes.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. That's what I thought, but again, just not sure. Just not worth like definitely hurts to confirm. Okay, I drew no lands. And that was the other thing that can happen is that you draw 6 cards and or no, it was only 3 cards because of the dissipate, but still like you draw a bunch of cards and still don't have any lands, and that's also it's sad face, but it's still such a good card though, and I'm not really even too upset by missing the land draws because it just feels really good to do that because you just have so many cards in hand now.
Or you drawing all gas.
Yeah, that's what it comes. That's bad. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. But
okay, block Gideon, lose Chandra.
Yeah, Chandra's gone. I think that seems pretty fair though. Like drawing out a counter, a dissipate, and still getting an urban evolution through. Like that, I feel pretty hot about that. Yeah, there's that watery grave. So now now of course I have to wonder if you're actually going to eviction the okay, now Lingering Souls is fine. The other thing is I can also counter the eviction too, which is it's not like Verdict, which is interesting. Makes like Terminus and eviction they can be countered.
Yep. That's okay. I've got 4 of them in hand.
Yeah, that would scare me. That would make me feel pretty sad face.
That would probably scare me if I was building decks like that. Like, yes. Something is wrong.
I just want to cry. I just gotta think for a moment.
Yep.
Actually, that's okay. Yeah, this seems fine. One sec. Oh wait, no. Nope. That's fine. So I do have to be careful. I have to respect the eviction, obviously, but that's seems fine. Not the lingering, and then also the fact that Lingering Souls was now with both sides. The Lingering Souls were now cast gives me a little bit more breathing room. I don't have to worry as much about, say, the kind of onboard threat, effectively, of something like that coming in.
All right, here we go. Alright, still willing to give up your beasts, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, you could have -3 to draw cards. You would have gotten 0 out of it.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? That would be so good. I would love doing that. That would make me feel so happy.
Sadly, Gideon's +0 does not make him immune to Merciless Eviction. That would be awesome.
Too. It's definitely nice to, but you can eviction and then activate though, which it just helps. Just trying to think for a moment.
I can't eviction and activate because eviction would exile him. If I evicted Planeswalkers, I mean.
Oh, because I was thinking if you did creatures and then activated Gideon. But if you
Yeah.
want to get planeswalkers, yeah, that would kind of restricts your ability to do that.
Hmm.
That is good to note.
It's okay. I'm content to strand your planeswalkers in hand.
That
Threat.
is also annoying, but
Until I draw 6 more planeswalkers.
right, and then like you have a jillion more and just spit them at you because it's fun like that. Yep, it's fun, and then I will. I mean, I figure like I basically just have to once I have counter backup, I can start pressing because I don't really until I have the D steer. Let's take a look at what's in the bin. So a Demonic Rising, a Charm, and a Obsidian go to the bin. Okay.
Maybe I should have held on to the Obsidian or the. Oh, right, I forgot that works with him as a planeswalker. That's funny.
Wait, what does?
Cameo.
Oh, yeah, tap target permanent, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, tap target permanent. Yeah, I figure I have to try to, if I can keep Gideon locked down, because the card, until, I think I need to find a D-Sphere for that, is the only real, Oblivion Ring D-Sphere kind of is, and of course, Merciless Eviction's, of course, another card, but I'm not running black, so that's, I think I'm testing, like, one eviction in the 5-color control, like, Monstrosity, Trainwreck, but it's, otherwise, I think I have to rely on like, the permanent base removal to get him out of the way. Because yeah, he is definitely there are some cards that are definitely annoying to deal with. And I guess Top Tomato also. Moon Socks helps lock him down too, which I like.
Right.
Sure. All right. Yeah, that's fair.
+2.
Yo, that's pretty sweet. Definitely like that about him. He can ramp up loyalty counters pretty quickly. And it's going to keep committing beast. Because I don't... Actually, that's also a question, though. If I do that, I actually like allow Gideon to ramp up, too. It's just actually scary.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely a dangerous something I gotta be watched for.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Guess I have to... try to press. Because I guess he goes up to... If he +1s, like he goes up to 10 next turn. So I'm not like in a super rush, but... Gonna have to be careful to keep that in mind. They rush to find a D-Sphere, basically. Yep, that's fine. I think I will probably just, assuming this resolves down to 1 mana. I can't think of any counter spells at 1 that would do it. But so Plains, a Drowned Catacomb, and the Think Twice go to the bin for reference. And I think I will mill 10 because it's a 4-turn clock basically.
Yeah. So, flashback spell time.
Yeah, cast your flashback spells. See if I care. Yeah, I'm just gonna check the bin quickly before I pass the turn to see what was.
Alright, Forbidden Alchemy is the only relevant.
Yeah, so Oblivion O-Ring, some Cyclonic Rift Dispel, Augur, Guildgate, some lands. Okay, just making sure to keep these guys there. Okay. So managing not to play like, completely stupidly this time around, which is great. Like being able to be a little more careful with talking and playing.
No attacks?
No, I don't really. I don't really like. I don't know. That feels like that 1 point of damage if he starts attack, like to get the Planeswalker. If more Lingering Souls tokens come down or something else, I feel like I'm not really concerned about the damage, winning by damage, the damage route. So I might as well just avoid any kind of like silly missteps, like that I might miss something that would come through for allow me to come through. Yeah, that's sure this has already been obvious for a long time, but that was the was planned in mind.
Yep. I figured it was probably counterflux that you had, but
Yeah, because otherwise it wouldn't be tapping out unless they had like multiple counter spells to fight over it. So I
I'm a
figured I
big
had to.
believer in making my opponents have things.
Yeah, and then you have 2 mana, do stuff, have fun. Actually, I'm just gonna have 6. Also have to note that this spell is in the bin too, in case there's like any Snapcaster shenanigans. I gotta watch for that.
Of course, you've seen my deck list, so you have the knowledge to, or you have the information available to know that I do not run Snapcaster.
Yeah, it's right. One sec. I'll be right back. Just gotta mute for a moment.
Alright, I'm gonna pause this. Alright, we're back.
All right, back. Sorry about that. My family came back, so I just had to say hi.
No problem at all.
And well, actually, now I have another decision too. I have to decide. Here's another sort of mental note. I have to decide between like milling 10, and I'm pretty certain I'm going to be going on that because I just need to try to win as fast as possible, given that Gideon's ramping up pretty quickly. But I also want to think about like if I do that, then if I don't have a plan for the lingering souls, like I could get owned like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by, I think now, given that I think I'm just going to take a more aggressive attack, or not, maybe not necessarily an aggressive. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Oh, you know, it really helps when I realize that I can attack a planeswalker. That's super helpful. Jeez, I am in it. Oh gosh. That's pretty ridiculous. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like I'm thinking like, narrow-minded, one-track mind, attack the face. No, attack Gideon's. Yeah, that's a lot better. If I wish I had figured that out sooner because it feels really good. It's going to.
He's only invulnerable on my turn.
Yes, so that definitely helps. I'm going to get a. I'm gonna get a breeding pool here.
So,
and then I have to decide. I'm actually gonna no. There's other questions too. Like if another eviction comes down, like I'm thinking about like whether there's another threat of that. So I'm gonna tap Gideon down, and then I will. I'm gonna. The question I'm basically thinking is like, do I want to? Okay, no. I think I know what the plan's gonna be. I'm gonna mill 10, and then I've already activated that. I'm gonna wrath the board. Because I just feel like I think the only way this plan kind of falls apart is if there's a Snapcaster Mage involved, but like then I may lose a Planeswalker. But at least this way, if there is a, and then I will, but actually no, and also because I have the Beast token that helps too. So this way, my hand is strong enough that I think I can just go for like just try to clear the board a lot more defensively, and then just mill again. And then I milled for reference, I milled 2 Gideon. Augur, Cyclonic Rift, Drown Yard, Dissipate, Augur, and some like a land or 2. So there's a Charm by you. Feels okay doing that because the other thing is also I'm not able. Obviously by the demonstration of my not unless I have negate in hand. Like I'm not really. I can't afford to just go waiting around in case another eviction comes down. So I have to be trying to press a little bit harder.
So to have the eviction.
Yeah. Do you have it? Do you have that card that is going? There you go. See, that's why. So yeah, that's definitely. I think in retrospect, I think that was the correct line then because my hand. I think my hand is strong enough to continue with that kind of ownage. That card is awesome, by the way. I have to say that I really like that card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the first time I've gotten to play with it, so it's fun.
That is a really neat kind of effect. I was gonna think for a moment.
Careful on your time, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. We're in game 3, right?
No. This is game 2.
No. I won game 1, and then I lost game 2 to just early, kind of Augur and Lingering Souls. Beats.
Oh yeah. I forgot I actually won one.
Yeah.
I normally never win on camera.
Yeah. No.
That's bad for me.
Yep. Oh yes. Oh yes. And I will just make sure there's any Snapcaster mages. Now, did you say that you actually did have Snapcasters in the deck, or did you?
I do not.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so I didn't. Of course, I don't want to. No, I didn't want to assume like I do because the card is so heavily played. I have to respect that. So I figured I would, just in case there was a possibility, in case it's an unknown opponent in a tournament or something, you want to try to factor that in because it could have easily been flashed in and then they knocked out one of the planeswalkers. But I feel like I did spend more time, but also because I had to spend a couple minutes like when my with the interruption, so I had to. That's also ate up time. There we go. Okay.
Alright, can I win this?
Is there anything Orzhov Kirun? Yeah, that's a fun brew. Like Obzadot is another like the cards like Obzadot and Gideon. There's some really fun and Eviction I think are also like great. Yeah, that's annoying.
Obzadot's in the sideboard, so it's a bit hard. Well, part of the problem is I have 2 cards on my deck.
Yes, that's also just have very few options. And unless you have unless you have like a Psychic Spiral that you can use to own me, and it's just like so. That's a pretty it's a pretty wild card.
Gideon and Obzadat are not quite enough, so you've got this one. Thanks for playing.
All right, thank you for the game.